Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Pure Guidance. We listen, guide, and connect small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs. Sharing knowledge and stories is why I started the Telling It Like It Is Facebook Live. It is live. If you have any questions, please ask. If you're watching this on a social media platform later on today or in the week, please ask away. Your questions will get responded to. I'd like to thank COVID Continuity for sponsoring this. They're a community of digitally connected, like-minded entrepreneurs, leaders, and champions who believe in the power of collaborating to support the recovery of our local and global economies. Today's guest is Brent Cheal, co-founder of Adappcity and UppstArt. Brent, thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
Very well, thanks, Jade, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no, absolutely. I always love talking. The importance of networking is something we focus on. And I hadn't met you, but I saw you speak on a panel at the Rainforest about blockchain and how that is going to affect the art world. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got to hook up with you, and reached out, and we met for coffee, and here we are now.
Yeah, it was very quick, and it was great to meet with you.
Oh no, absolutely. So we'll get into it here. I'll do a brief introduction, and then we'll hit the questions. So Brent is the CEO and co-founder of Adappcity, a social venture focused on applying distributed technology to pressing societal concerns. Adappcity is involved in several social products and is a creator of UppstArt, an online marketplace for original art that helps artists by leveraging blockchain technology to protect their artistic rights and pay them resale royalties when their art resells on a secondary marketplace. He's a lifelong business person and entrepreneur. Brent holds a bachelor's of administration and is a self-proclaimed blockchain fanatic. He has taken companies from the startup phase to successful exit and has served as a director and advisor on several boards of nonprofit organizations, including the David Foster Foundation, Kinsman Plan, and BC Children's Hospital. So I guess thank you for all your dedication to nonprofit, because it is important, and even moving forward, it is going to be important. So let's kind of touch a little bit on COVID here before we get into talking about art, blockchain, and digital currency. So how has this affected your business?
Well, basically everything came to a full stop. Our plans at the beginning of the year are no longer our plans today. We are obviously working remotely with the people involved. We had a couple projects going on, one at the U of C and University of Calgary, and one at SAIT, and not being able to physically connect with the students was and the people involved. That was difficult. We did get the projects done, and it was a great job by the students. But yeah, no, it's been everything we were hoping to get done by now has obviously not been done, and we're reiterating or whatever again, just adjusting to the new situation.
Yeah, it's not a fun situation for anybody. I mean, there are. I mean, I have had a lot of conversations. There will be some people that will thrive because of it, but and I hope those are, I guess, one of your opportunities. Hopefully, moving forward, it was when people might be a little more adapt to ordering online, purchasing things online. The comfort level for that obviously seems to be growing. So I guess, kind of that being said, with that, I mean, we want to talk about how the spending has been growing online, and it's been. You sent a chart that went from 2009. It's grown like by yeah, I think $2.5 billion since the beginning of 2009. So the online marketplace has been steadily growing in the last 10 years. Can we talk a little bit about that right now?
Yeah, so when we started looking at the e-commerce marketplace for art, it was even a shock to us how large it had already been when it's only, I guess it's maybe about a 12-year-old industry, and it has grown to globally about $6 billion annual sales. And what was interesting was a third of those sales are in Europe, a third are in the US, and a third are spread out around the rest of the world. So we quickly realized we're living next door to about a $2 billion industry, And that was part of our reason for looking further and researching commerce marketplace for art. And it fit with our research with artists locally here who wanted to expand their marketplace. And so we looked at, creating a marketplace, a global marketplace for artists to try and market and sell their works. And one of the catalysts was also that 93 countries in the world have resale royalty rights for artists. Canada and the US do not, and they've tried a couple times to change copyright laws, but they have failed in legislation. And we saw blockchain as something that could potentially work for doing that, even though we're not legislated here in North America.
So I guess why, that kind of brings me, to two questions just kind of popped in my head. Why hasn't Canada or Canadians or Canadian artists really, adopted the online platform yet?
Interesting question. Both on the artist side and the buyer side, Canadians have not participated in the marketplace. I think it goes back to comparing us to buyers in the US. Canadians are still a little hesitant to buy online. Biggest issue, in the art marketplace, of course, is trust. They're going to get what they ordered. And again, that's where we started working on a blockchain platform to deal with that for the buyers to help solve that problem. So it's more just Canadians not buying or understanding, even having knowledge that they can buy art online and in a safe, efficient manner.
No, absolutely. I mean, I get that. And again, I'm talking with Brent Cheal, co-founder of UppstArt. You can click on his website, UppstArt.io. It's in the comment section, and it'll take you directly to his website. So you mentioned royalties there, and obviously the royalties for artists, and there is no legislation in Canada, and I believe in the US. So if this gets adapted, talk a little bit about that, and if it gets adapted, how can it change this in a positive way for the artists?
Yeah, so when we started talking to artists, of course, this generates a new revenue stream that they don't currently have. So there was quite a bit of interest there. We followed some of the attempts to change legislation. So, for instance, in Canada, the art community was looking for a resale royalty for the lifetime of a living artist and 50 years to their estate. So we're looking at a technology tracking these sales for at least 100 years. So we realized it wasn't a 3 or a 5, 10-year application that we were going to build. It's a 100-year application. Obviously, technology will change, but the artists, and just a side point, 2 years ago, we stopped talking about blockchain to artists. They didn't really care. They liked the resale royalty so that they can participate in hopefully the growth of their artwork and resales in the marketplace and have a revenue stream in their lifetime and to their estate that currently doesn't exist.
And is this, I mean, I'm sure if it was on the agenda of the government, it's probably been put to the back of the pile, bottom of the pile, whatever you want to say right now. Is this something that, do you think that the government is going to look at anytime soon, or is it just swimming uphill without a canoe type thing?
Yeah, I don't think it's on the agenda right now, but the other interesting piece was that the legislation would be tracking the royalties through galleries and auction houses who would have to collect and submit the royalty. E-commerce marketplace was not even discussed. So we were not in the legislation for what we were creating. And it's the same in the US. We actually had a law professor from Colorado do a paper on us when we first launched where we're doing this without legislation because we don't have to, but we believe it's the right thing to do for the artist community, and it's something they've wanted for a long time. California tried to do it and had it in place, but the federal government canceled it because it's a federal, or the courts canceled it because it's a federal jurisdiction. So it has definitely brought up a number of conversations. Bottom line is artists love the idea. So that's why, and with using the blockchain technology, we believe we can track sales and do it efficiently.
Well, let's talk about the blockchain technology. I mean, obviously, I'm involved with the Canadian Blockchain Consortium, and I'm a big fan of it and promoting it throughout the world, for that matter. Please, how do you think that blockchain will change this? And I mean, are you able to share some, an example for our listeners on how it works through the, from the artist to the end user?
Yeah. So when we obviously we looked at blockchain and how we could fit it into an e-commerce marketplace. Quickly, we realized that what we felt was the strongest benefit for blockchain in UppstArt is on the settlement side, on the settlement process. Where we believe there's a big future is using smart contracts. And so for us, I guess it's easier for me to describe the future than what we went through or have been through in the past. In that, if you imagine our front office is marketing and development, our back office is the settlement process, which when you're dealing with a global application, buyers and sellers from around the world, and you get into currency and all that stuff, it's a real messy, costly piece. We have done some sales for using Ether, and we realized when we did those from a settlement process, they were much more, much simpler and cost effective, and was definitely showed us that this is the way to go if we want to be a global marketplace. So that's in our focus is on the blockchain side. Is we do digital certificates of authenticity that are recorded on the Ethereum blockchain. We can do digital currency settlements, but there is issues within the digital currency marketplace currently of the volatility in the pricing. And, most of our sales will go through anywhere, and they will settle anywhere from 2 weeks to a month out. And so with volatility in the digital currency marketplace, that can have a drastic effect on margins. So that's one of the issues we've been looking to try and resolve. But we also realized that UppstArt is actually a marketing platform. And again, nobody cares how we're settling. They just want it to be done, and they want it secure. Buyers want to know they're not getting ripped off. And so we've built in smart contracts safety measures for the buyers, that they have the ability to create a dispute, that their money's not going to get released before it should to the seller. And these are all things we're building on going into the future.
No, excellent. I mean, I do think blockchain will be a very good solution, especially for transparency and obviously, I mean, even if you do get legislation, obviously tracking the legacy of these artists after they pass on, if it is a 50-year type plan. Again, I'm talking with Brent Cheal, co-founder of UppstArt. It's in the website in the comment section. You can click on it. And again, thank you to covidcontinuity.com for sponsoring us. They are also in the chat, so you can just click on their website and head straight there as well. And you mentioned obviously digital currency, and it's obviously something that is Bitcoin's been number one, and it's been kind of the main player. And it's something that it's quite volatile, going up and down. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people aren't taking payment, and that is if it's $10,000 today, I haven't looked in a while, but it drops to more 7, you could have lost all your margin. Or if it goes up, that's kind of, you don't want to kind of play a stock market type of scenario when you're selling things. But that being said, one thing, I just finished reading the Facebook Libra white page, and I know I'm extremely excited about it and how it can change things. I know you and I have discussed it, so please share your thoughts on how Facebook Libra could really change this market.
Yeah, exactly. And we're following it very closely because it appears it will solve a number of our problems, which is the stability. So, it should be a stable coin, or will be a stable coin, which gives us more stability over the settlement process from start to finish. And again, but we're still using the blockchain, still can record digital certificates of authenticity. At least this is what it looks like right now. So, the future of UppstArt could be, even for Canadian artists, all our art on the site would be priced in Libra, and settlement would be done in Libra from anywhere around the world. And that, I think, would be a very cool, efficient way of settling on sales of art.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll cross a lot. I think it'll really bring the kind of the world economy a little closer together, in my opinion. Especially, I mean, again, from everything I read, and whether that becomes a reality, I do not know. But I mean, having a stable coin, and I know Facebook has their own trust issues, but I mean, when it comes to security and how the payment's going to move forward through whether it's Facebook wallet, I'm not 100% sure, but I would not have any issues on that platform when it comes to security. So I don't think, I mean, I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, no, one is again, there's been all sorts of speculation that's not going to happen. I fully believe it's going to happen. They're working out, like any new issue or any new token or anything new, period, working out some of the issues that people aren't happy with. And for us, it's two-sided. Again, we're a marketing company doing marketing for our artists through social media. And so we are using Facebook. And there's 1.2 or 1.7 billion users who trust Facebook. And that's a fairly large marketplace for us. And I would assume at some point over time, they will trust Libra. And I think the buyers will do the same, because again, that's where our buyers are coming from. Facebook and Instagram and social media. That's what we do. And so I have no doubt that Libra will come to fruition, hopefully sooner than later for us. Because it does make it more efficient for our artists in particular. I can give you one sample. A Ukrainian artist just before Christmas sold a piece to a Canadian, which was new for us in the first place. But that artist lost, I think it was 20 or 22% of her sale to currency exchange and transfer. And that's just, for us, it's not acceptable anymore. And that is what we believe why blockchain and is so important, and digital currencies for the settlement process, is at the end of the day to put more money into the pockets of our artists.
No, absolutely. And after I read that white paper, it said like 25% of the world population does not have a bank account. And don't quote me, but I think it was 18 or 19% of that population has a cell phone and access to Facebook. So when you start adding up those numbers, if someone can buy, doesn't have a bank account because they can't set it up for wherever they live in the world, it's a whole new world for some of these people if they want to buy art or buy anything for that matter. So I'm looking forward, and I really do hope it comes to, sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the unbanked in the world is a huge number, and that's again, what we believed at the start, blockchain was more inclusive, and that's what we want. We want individuals from around the world to participate in original art. And I think we're going through a lesson of how important our homes are. They're not just an investment, but they're our sanctuary. And using art, it's important in the house. I was joking one day. I said when we started this, I said, "Look, art's been on the wall of caves since we know, so it's not going anywhere. It's very important in our lives, and we just want to use UppstArt to help share that."
Well, and if anybody wants to purchase any of the art that our girls have drawn, just please let me know. Sitting all there behind me. So I guess what's next for yourself and UppstArt, Brent?
Well, we know again using studies, research we've had done at the universities here and stuff. We know where we want UppstArt to go. We want to make it a better place for buyers to meet artists in a virtual world. And so there's technologies coming along and are here already that can help a buyer connect with an artist, see the story of their art. And these are all things we want to work on and continue to build and add on to our platform. So that's ongoing, is making the site as user-friendly at both ends for the artists and for the buyers. But we're also branching out onto our social platform, or good, in that just at the end of last year, we've partnered with Indefinite Arts, which is the largest disability art group in Canada, I believe. It's a great organization who uses art with their clients, who are people with severe disabilities. And we've reached out and allowing them to start their marketplace. And so that's an exciting piece for us coming up, and to continue to build and help them sell art, which they were only on for a couple of weeks and they sold a piece at Christmas. So that was a great sign. And they get full proceeds. We're not taking anything from them. We want to help build that piece of their business. And I believe you are actually interviewing JS from Indefinite Arts coming up.
Yeah, JS is going to be on next week, so I'm excited about that. We'll talk a little bit more about Indefinite Arts, and if anybody wants to check out their website, I have posted it in the comments section. Again, it's something that I really love what they're doing, and the partnership that you have. I think there could be some really good opportunities there.
Yeah, so that's we continue to develop our application, which then we share with somebody like Indefinite Arts. And so we'll build these other partnerships as we go along.
Perfect. My last question is always the same, Brent, and I know you've obviously been involved with businesses and a lot of different aspects of your life with the nonprofit side of things. So if you had one piece of advice for a small business entrepreneur or startup, what would that be?
In today's environment, it's a very tough decision to do it. But if you're going to do it and you have the commitment, make sure you have financial backing to last you 2-3 years at least. Statistically, I see more businesses start and die within 6 months, and that's a painful process, and we don't often hear about the ones that don't make it and how painful that can be. So think it through, do business plan, use your network, get out and network, soak in as much information as you can to start a business. And in this environment, you need to do it safely. Don't take financial risks that you're going to regret. But entrepreneurs are out there every day. They're wanting to get going. It's going to be a different environment to do a startup than it has been for the last quite a few years, a long time. So just be safe, like with everything else these days. If you're going to start a business, be safe.
No, absolutely. That's some great advice. And I mean, money doesn't grow on trees, and it's becoming harder to come by. And moving forward, there's just the level of uncertainty is, it's kind of like the black hole right now. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to look like, how it's going to open, how long it's going to take to getting back to normal. So that's good. I mean, and that's advice I've been handing out. I said, anything that you have, spend your money wisely. Make sure that's an investment that's going to, pay off for you, because I mean, you might need this down the road. So that's a very good piece of advice. And that being said, thank you very much, Brent, for coming on, talking about UppstArt and how technology and hopefully Libra and blockchain can change the industry that you're in.
Yes, definitely. It's an interesting period, and we're looking forward to the future.
No, absolutely. So again, I'd like to thank you, and if you need to check out any of the sites, Brent's UppstArt is on the comment section. You can check out the COVIDcontinuity.com. It's in the comment section as well. And again, they are looking to help you, kind of like a one-stop shop for where you can get all the information you need on running your business during COVID. Thank you for them for sponsoring. And again, thank you again, Brent, and have yourself a great day, and we will chat soon.
Thanks, Jade.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.